A guardianship proceeding is a court proceeding whereby we appoint a caretaker, a guardian, of a vulnerable person. There's something very similar called a conservatorship, and the conservatorship is where we appoint the guardian of a vulnerable person's assets. So they're similar, and they are for vulnerable people. And the point there being we need to make sure that there's someone who can care for someone who's unable to care for themselves. Sometimes we need a guardian, but we do not need a conservator. We have someone who needs care, but they are still able to manage their financial affairs. Sometimes we have someone who doesn't need care of themselves as a person. They're able to care for themselves, but there's something going on where custody of their money needs to be controlled by somebody else. So they're not always done together. Sometimes they are, but very often they are two separate appointments. There are many types of guardianships. There are temporary guardianships where we have perhaps a vulnerable adult or a vulnerable child, and we just need someone to temporarily take care of them. We have emergency guardianships where somebody is in imminent danger, and we have the most common that I see, which is guardianship for a young child. That's where we work the most with our clients, is making sure there's somebody appointed or nominated who can care for a young child if something happens to their parents. When it comes to naming a guardian or conservator for a minor child, my recommendation is everybody who has a minor should have this paperwork in place at the minimum. And what we're doing here is making sure that you have a say in who cares for your kids if something happens to you. Again, we always have our default rules in place. There's always the legislature that has our defaults, but do you want a say in that? Because the default rules are what's going to happen. So why don't we take a moment and talk a little bit about what's important and who shares your values and who would actually be your point person if we actually needed to make that appointment. And that takes place in a will. When we work with minor children in particular, the guardian and the conservator of that child's money are almost always going to be the same person, but there's no legal reason that has to be the case. You can absolutely have one person managing money and one person responsible for the physical welfare of a person. They do not have to be the same. Usually, when we're working with an estate plan, we don't need the conservator because we've created a trustee to manage that child's money. And that conservator aspect, the money aspect, doesn't come into play. We just need the guardian. But every family is different, and we take that case by case. We've been working with the appointment of guardians for young children since we've been doing wills. Anytime we work with a young family, this comes up, and it's a tremendously important part. Sometimes for that family, the most important part, not surprising. We want to make sure we've got a plan for who takes the child and then who is able to care for them from a monetary aspect as well. So who can manage the life insurance, who can manage the retirement accounts for that child. It's a part of nearly every estate plan we do for families with young kids, and we've been doing that since the start. Our clients hire our firm to represent them in their estate plan for a number of reasons. I think one of them is, honestly, we've had a lot of people say really good things about us. I believe we do very, very good work, and I believe people have made that known to their friends and family. So that's always the biggest compliment we can get, is when someone sends a family member of theirs to work with us as well. Financial professionals trust us, so we get a lot of financial advisors and accountants who send their clients our way to talk about their estate plan, their will, their trust, whatever it might be. More importantly, I think when someone comes to us without being a referral, they just research us online. I think from the minute they call us to the minute they get their kind of overview phone call with one of our staff, to the point where they're actually meeting with their attorney and spending some time talking about the things that are very important to them, their family, their loved ones, the things that they've been working for. I believe there's a level of comfort there, and I believe we really know how to talk to people in a way that isn't lawyerly. I think it's a friendly conversation, and we get a lot done in a very efficient way by working with people where they are. Client communication is one of our values as a firm. The policy within the firm is 8 business hours, but we're much faster than that. We usually try to get back to folks within an hour during weekdays, business hours. But more importantly than that, during the process, we are going to map out with the client when they will hear from their attorney, We are going to map out when there'll be a review call, when they're going to get documents. They're going to know what's going to happen at each step of the process. We are a small law firm. We're right on the corner of Minneapolis and Richfield. We're not downtown. And we have found our advantage to be we can create a process that is very custom to each individual rather than having to push that client through the large law firm with all of its many departments. We are able to create something that is very much focused on that family. The majority of our guardianship and conservatorship conversations come as part of a larger estate plan. So the way to get started there is to contact our office. You can give us a call or send an email over the website if you prefer, and you'll be connected with our client services director. She is great, and she'll give you some ideas for costs, some cost options, give you an overview of the process. If it looks like it's a fit and something with which you'd like to get started, she'll get you connected with one of our attorneys. It will be a very productive meeting. She'll tell you exactly what you need to bring to that meeting, what to expect as far as time and what you'll be talking about. And again, a very productive meeting. You'll go through the whole process, get a very good idea of your options, and we will keep you moving from start to finish.